they control most of the media. So the actual information that is real information hardly ever reaches the surface unless there's a purpose for it, unless they can use it for their benefit. They don't cover shit like Pizzagate for a reason. There was a news anchor, it's a pretty well-known story. I don't know what his name was, but I remember the story. This news anchor, he was doing coverage on Pizzagate, and he made some statements along the lines of, we should look into this, that it isn't normal for all these different things to come up when investigating Comet Pizza. He was fired and allegedly threatened. I believe it because these people do threats all the time, and at first you might take it as a joke. Some people on this channel, you might have seen that I get threatened in the comments, and some people chalk it up to, oh, it's just a troll messing with you. I mean, it's creepy because it might actually be a real threat. I'm not joking. They will threaten you if you start getting on YouTube, or even, talking amongst your friends might get you threatened. This is the sick shit they employ on people that they want to put into the psychiatric industry. That's all I see this going. If they can't frame you and get you to do crimes, which they've also tried to do, another synchronicity, people seem to think that a lot of these mass shooters are happening because of the V2K, and I believe it, that it's exactly what's doing it, but it still doesn't excuse that kind of reaction to it. You can't just punish a bunch of innocent people, because it's just not, you shouldn't do that. I shouldn't even need to state that. But that's what they do. They torture people out here, and there are hundreds of people that I've come across on YouTube, 4chan, Reddit, on all kinds of sites, talking about the exact same tactics, talking about the exact same thing. So they control all of it. And whenever I start to talk on my channel, I get threatened. After I upload this video, I might consider doing a live stream, maybe later in the night. I don't know. My videos don't get any views because this shit is all controlled, and if they blacklist your channel from the search engine, it's really hard to find your videos, and the only people that would find my channel most of the time are the ones who found my shorts without, any specific key terms in them, or people who looked up gang stalking. So this is how they manage people's eyes. My videos are they're kind of, I'm not going to say they're crappy. They are good. They're good quality, but I didn't have the time to sit down and edit a video. I just wanted to put it all together at once before I forgot and do it all at once, and I did that. So if you've actually watched all the videos on this channel and you don't think I'm a crazy person, that's been my experience. That's what I've learned. It's a wild world we live in. That's all I gotta say. And a lot of people like to shut me down because I talk about it all the time. It's lame. But this is what it is, They control the dissemination of information, so they don't want true information coming to the surface. If everyone figured out that they were doing this human trafficking, what would happen? I mean, I've cited the missing children statistics a few times. What it looks like right here is that they're either getting blackmailed into submission, they don't know anything, or they're just a part of it. That's the three things that come into my mind. The cops specifically, I don't know if they're up shit's creek without a paddle, or they just don't have any good leads because these people are really good at covering their crimes, but they're doing something. I don't have any proof locally, necessarily, of human trafficking. I don't have any footage of anything that I can point to and be like, hey, this is human trafficking. But some of the vibes these people have given me over the last year, and some of the threats that have been made, the timing of the threats, it's very strange that they would choose to play with me on that level if they were just joking. Get up. And I know that they're not joking because some serious things happened to me. I got drugged. I talked about that on the channel. I'm trying to be specific in these YouTube titles because there's a lot of videos on this channel now. So anybody that comes to this channel and is scrolling through the videos, they'll see a video, I got drugged. Watch out. Hide your medicine. Hide whatever you're fucking using. Don't do any of the fentanyl on the streets. It's actual poison. It's all. I think it's even deliberately made to poison you. Just stay away from the street drugs. I do legal shit, but not everyone does legal shit. That's why I say it. Trust me on this. Stay away from the street drugs. If you somehow found your way to this channel and you're addicted to street drugs, you don't have to say who you are. Please put the shit down. It is made with the nastiest shit imaginable. The people who made it probably don't give a flying fuck about your safety or you. You get it. This shit is where I specifically live. There's a couple of leads I have to go on, right? But every time I've gone out, basically what I do is I've recorded it a couple of times and put it on the channel. I go out at night, I walk around, and most of the time when I'm recording, you can see up to like 4 or 5, maybe even 10 plus people in their cars who have one headlight missing, and these are different cars. So, yeah, it's obviously coordinated. It's not just a coincidence. I do that, and I was looking for signs of, like, human trafficking, basically, because I literally thought that they were doing it out in the open, and people just straight up couldn't see it, because they're so lulled to sleep and stuff. And they just take everything at face value, and they don't peel it back. It's not because they're stupid. It's because it's a learned behavior. I never learned to think like that. They did. I don't know where they learned to think it, but they learned to think that way, and it makes it hard to digest true information. Basically like cognitive dissonance. I've been talking about all of this stuff. Try to view it, I like to view it the whole bigger picture. Pizzagate, gang stalking, human trafficking. What else? That's the main things I talk about, because that's the main thing I'm focused on. Because I swear, if people actually woke up to that, things would change. But I don't know if there's some dickheads that just, they'd be like, I don't even care, you know. I mean, I can see it being that, but I don't think it's like that. I think if people really realized what was going on, that it was a coordinated operation of human trafficking, that something could happen. And there's some part of me thinking it's not too wise to come on here and talk about it in that way, because it might lead some of them to try and delete their evidence, per se. But I don't know, maybe I'm reaching. All I'm saying is I don't have any proof that I can point at and be like, these people are human trafficking. They're a bunch of Satanists. I don't have that proof. I have experiences with people. You know, in Ohio, there apparently are a lot of Satanists here, according to some statistic I saw not long ago. And, well, I've run into a couple, that's for sure. I've run into a couple Satanists around Ohio. We're not on good terms, that's for sure. They're very weird. Maybe people think like I'm making it up as I go, but I swear I'm being completely honest. This is the shit they say to me. They declared their alignment with Satan, so they do that themselves. I never did that. You guys can declare allegiance to the beast all day long. I swear, like one day they woke me up with the V2K and they're like, you're the beast or something. I was cringing so hard, and I'm like, I'm dying inside. I'm like low-key dying inside because he said that to me. And it wasn't like a compliment like, oh, you're such a beast, bro. You're a total unstoppable fucking beast. No, it was like an insult. He was calling me like a wild animal. So yeah, ever since I started really talking about Pizzagate and human trafficking and the whole satanic operation behind it on YouTube, I've been getting gang stalked. So I like to look at the whole bigger picture of it and connect gang stalking with human trafficking. And my view is I can't really say if all the gang stalkers are involved because I just don't know that. What I can say is that some of them definitely are. Like, I think it'd be inevitable for people with this kind of technology not to abuse it for that purpose. I think they're guilty of human trafficking, but, you know, I don't think they would agree. I think they would probably try to cover it up. I've seen so much from these people, and it's a connected web of, it's a web, a framework of connections. And they all do this weird thing where they, like, joke about hurting children and stuff, and they joke about Satanism, yada yada. I don't know. This is just the pattern I noticed. And people, like, dismiss it like it's nothing. It really gives me a hard time. Sometimes I have found it hard to sleep because of some of the things that the Satanists have done. I'm not joking. Like, I've found it difficult to sleep off sedatives. It's that difficult just to sleep anymore. I can't sleep because of what these motherfuckers do and are doing. And thank God, I came on here acting kind of silly, talking about how I destroyed my V2K gang stalkers, and yeah, I did, but the way I said it made it sound like I physically did that. I didn't fight anybody, I just completely put myself above this shit because it's so stupid. And the people doing it aren't any better than me, like, they're cowards, so I don't know what to say. Like, I'm being honest in that. So yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, I got all this information and I've studied for years, but I got this schizophrenia diagnosis and I smoke weed all the time. You know, that's about it, but I don't drink alcohol. I'm not an alcoholic or anything. Not that that's a necessarily bad thing. Well, I mean, it is, but it doesn't make you a bad person. I don't know. The whole bigger picture of this thing is that it's the Matrix and that it's controlled. The only thing we have is real is the earth. That's why you have the best things that come from the earth. Look at all the plants that you can eat and smoke and do all this stuff to. Use for, like, lotions and stuff. Shampoo. I mean, it's perfect. There's no need to go beyond that. The earth is fine. But the obvious push from the media is that, you know, they want you in a city. They want you as far away from nature as possible. And they don't want you to have your own source of food. They want you to live completely off of what, you know, the fucking food company Matrix is going to supply you. They don't want you to have a farm. They want to own all the farmland. They want to own all the farmland. So I feel like it's just history repeating in a less violent way. It kind of reminds me of the grain seizure from the communists. I feel like at this point, Bill Gates is trying to buy up a lot of farmland, as much farmland as possible, and use that against people. It doesn't seem like Bill Gates is doing anything for the people, and he in fact seems to be against the people, while ironically touting vaccines, which is straight up movie script. It really literally sounds like a fucking movie script. Oh, Bill Gates, this high-tech computer developer, is developing a vaccine that will save the world. Doesn't that sound like a movie? It doesn't even sound legit at all. But apparently he's a fucking vaccine scientist. I don't know what you'd call that. I don't know. Ever since the little, like, charade they did with COVID-19 and those vaccines and the endless booster meme, I haven't gotten any vaccines, and I guess I can't say that I would advise someone not to get a vaccine, because then people will take it and say, oh, you're a bad person, you're trying to get people poisoned. When in reality, I just don't believe in this shit anymore. I just don't. I don't believe that a COVID vaccine is going to do anything for me. I think plants that come from God have a better chance of stopping COVID-19 than a COVID-19 vaccine. But I already took the 2 vaccines way back when I was like 17, when this shit first started. So this has been going on for, I think, 6+ years now, it would be. It's been a long time. I've been trying to figure out the bigger picture, the truth, and it was always related to human trafficking. It was always related to people being controlled like cattle. It was always related to slavery in some way. It's more subtle for most people, I think. It's subtle. It's on the subtle level. Like some people would take some acid and, they'd feel like they were on a different planet. That's how it is. And that's not me advising you to go take acid. I can't advise that you take anything, honestly. I don't even really advise that you go out and smoke. Yeah, for the last couple hours, I've been posting about this human trafficking stuff. I've been trying to get as much info as I can get, as much people as I can get to dig shit up. I can find stuff on my own, but we've kind of exhausted all our options when it comes to Pizzagate. I mean, we've looked into basically every avenue that we could. And that last video I uploaded, like I said, man, that's the best evidence I've seen, and it's quite disturbing. And that was all real. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Those people actually made those posts. Not a joke. They actually did that. So, not a wise decision on their part. Needless to say, it was probably the dumbest shit they ever ended up doing. But hey, here we are. They ended up in a fucking documentary. You don't want to end up in a documentary like that. That ain't what you want. That just ain't what you want. You know what I mean? So I feel bad about it. That's the reason I talk about human trafficking all the time, is because I feel bad that I know it's going on and I can't do anything about it. And that's it. I'm trying to expose them as much as possible. That's what this whole channel's been about the whole time. Just to do it. Also, they kept threatening to kill me, so I started to think, like, what if they actually did? So I decided I'm just going to put it all on YouTube before they do it. I know people are laughing about it now and being like, bro, you not that important, dog. You not that important. But, like, come on. Like, they threatened me over, like, probably at least 50 times, and that's being generous. That's being generous. I don't know if I could say it happened more than 50 times, but when they start threatening me, it ain't no joke. That shit is not natural. Your brain doesn't just automatically start threatening you when you start posting sensitive info. That's not what happens. That's what happens when a group of people want you to shut up about something, coincidentally. But they want to visualize, or they want to say that it's a mental illness, because of course they do. So then it becomes they're using whatever diagnosis you have, bipolar, schizophrenia, against you, trying to be like, okay, well, this is just your mental illness speaking. How do we know you're not just hallucinating right now? That's a fair question. It's reasonable for people to ask that, but when it's the whole crux of what they're saying and they can't see beyond that, in short words, if they can't see with an open mind, the conversation won't go anywhere, and that's the cognitive dissonance. It doesn't matter how much information you provide them, their mind's already made up. They can't see outside the bounds of the box they put themselves in. This is what they did to me. And I'm glad they fucking did it. You want to know why? Even though it was torturous to me, I still learned that never to let anyone control me like that. I was like basically getting controlled by these people. And I would never do what they told me to do, right? Like, they tell you to do stupid shit. They tell you to do violent shit. They try to make you crash out. Nothing good. They're doing that so that they can put you in the hospital or the psych ward. That's ultimately what they were trying to do to me. is manufacture this whole thing with technology and make it look like a mental illness so they can put me in the psych ward, prescribe me shit, yada yada, and then use it all against me. One of them's harassing me right now, but you can take that as you will. All you have is my word. That's it. Right now I'm just a dude pacing around his room with a phone in his hand, talking about some really fucked up shit that I'm being completely 100% serious is for real, is going on. Human trafficking, satanic human trafficking. They're doing it. I don't know. The one thing I can say is I don't know how the fuck they get away with this shit. I don't know how they get away with this shit. I'm so serious right now. The only thing I could ever think of, I really thought about it too. I was like, bro, how the fuck are they getting away with satanic human sacrifice, child trafficking? How are they getting away with this shit? I really got to thinking about it. They just keep it private. If they're all evil and fucked up, they don't care. So keep it private, oaths of silence, and there you go. That's how it never comes out. And they use fear to control people. They use blackmail to control people. So if you don't have fear, they're going to move either to blackmail or violence, and then they're going to make you feel fear. That's all they can control people with. It just keeps people in line. I think it was funny that I had a couple of quote-unquote real people come here and get all sarcastic with me when I was exposing these Satanists and seemingly take their side. It was very interesting to see that, despite everything I was presenting. So yeah, if you go and you watch the Pizzagate documentary from Mouthy Buddha that I just uploaded on the Pizzagate playlist, it's pretty disturbing, but it's the best compilation of evidence that I've ever seen aside from Titus Frost. That's another channel that got deleted from YouTube. All of these channels, I'm pretty sure they ended up getting deleted from YouTube because I couldn't find their videos. One thing I forgot about the Mouthy Buddha documentary is that it is quite disturbing, so that's another final warning. I can't really prepare you for what is in that documentary, but like I said, it's disturbing. The Pizzagate section is found at the end, and I think it's the most solid evidence that we have. And I call it evidence because it's more than enough posts of these people talking about child abduction, kidnapping, human sacrifice, drinking blood, what else? Kids with their guts out. This is shit that they, drew, acted out. This is stuff that they publicly posted. So, when I first saw it, I knew that there was something fucked up about it. I'm like, alright, this is fucked. It just didn't, it left me feeling icky. It left me with that ick. It was nasty. I was like, for instance, one of the artists connected to either Marina Abramovich, James Alefantis, or they were connected to the people in the Pizzagate scandal. So in the Pizzagate scandal, Jimmy Comment is James Alefantis' Instagram account, and through his Instagram account, there are a bunch of different accounts that he follows or follows him that post weird satanic shit that I just described. Lots of stuff having to do with children, and on James Alefantis' main account, there are two separate jokes where children are. There's one joke where a child is being sold, and then there's another joke where a child is taped down to a table. And given the context of the other stuff, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's either the most elaborate frame-up I've ever fucking seen, or it's a human trafficking ring. I haven't said what I fully think about James Alefantis, because I don't know exactly what James Alefantis does. But I do know there's a satanic human trafficking ring. That's for sure. So if I ever, like, suddenly die, it was probably because I exposed that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm safe.